and I was having a hard time getting around the park on my crutches. So Noble Al Hortman saw that I was having difficulty, so he picked me up and carried me from ride to ride.
Hi, I'm Rob McKinley, illustrious potentate of Kora Temple. And this being our 130th year of Kora Temple, 100th year of the Children's Hospitals, and the 150th of Shriners International, our project for the year was to put the silent messenger statue outside of Kora Temple for all to see and realize what this beautiful building is that not many have known for years. And as our special guest for this occasion, we have Miss Bobbi Jo Wright, who is the little girl that was in that famous picture, in which is now a statue, that was taken back in 1970. And she is here from Evansville, Indiana. And welcome, Bobbi Jo.
Glad to be here.
It's been so many years since that photo was taken, and you're amazed at where it's come and how far it's gone over all these years.
Yes, it's been amazing.
And what was going on the day that that picture was taken?
Okay, Kora Shriners in Evansville, Indiana hosted annual summer outings and Christmas parties for patients of the hospitals. And at the time I was a patient at the St. Louis Shriners Hospital. And so on June 11th, 1970, Kora sponsored a picnic at a local amusement park. And I was having a hard time getting around the park on my crutches. So Noble Al Hortman saw that I was having difficulty, so he picked me up and carried me from ride to ride. And then as we were making our way to the shelter house for lunch, Randy Dieter, photographer with the Evansville Sunday Courier and Press, snapped a photo of us after we had passed him. And that photo appeared in the paper the following Sunday. And not long after that, it started being picked up by Shriners and the Shriners hospitals. And as they say, the rest is history.
It's amazing, from just such a simple act of kindness that now it's something that we all know about. And not a lot of us, unfortunately, realize that you are a real person. That was a real event. That was an actual photo, not just an artist concept. So what was the reason that you were in crutches at the...
Okay, I was born with cerebral palsy. And as a matter of fact, that picture was taken about 2 months before I had my first surgery. Because when I started walking, I walked on my toes, and whenever my feet were fully on the floor, my knees were bent. And so the first surgery I had was to deal with that. They did a tendon lengthening and hamstring release so that I could stand up straight. And then later on I had to have hip surgery, and then I ended up with my left leg shorter than my right. So when I was about 12, they stopped the growth above and below my right knee, which is the longer leg, in hopes that the shorter one would catch up, because this is prior to the current limb lengthening procedures that they have available now.
And you said you were in that cast for,
Oh, the body cast, yes. When I had hip surgery on both hips, and I got to come home in the cast for about 2 months after having had the hip surgery. And during the time that I was at home, there wasn't a whole lot on TV because that was the summer of the Watergate hearings, and that was the only thing on TV at the time. And my brother-in-law was stationed at Fort Knox, Kentucky. He was in the Army, and he'd come up with my sister on weekends to visit, and he'd take me to the drive-in and lay me on the hood of the car, leaning up against the windshield so that I could watch the movie.
so with how much you've seen of the depiction of that picture and everything like that, what are the most amazing spots that you've seen it used?
I would have to say the very first time that I thought was unusual was seeing it as a tattoo. I was with Al Hartman in Livingston, New Jersey for a statue dedication by Kora Shrine. And there was a Shriner there who had it on the calf of his leg. So he picked it up. I mean, he pulled up his pant leg to show me, and I told him I had to take a picture because I'd seen everything. And that was a total surprise, is to see it turned into a tattoo. And since then, I've seen multiple tattoos.
And you said you collect those, even the pictures of the, yeah.
Yes.
So is there anything you'd like to say to the people about your experience overall that you've had?
Yeah, well, for one thing, if it hadn't been for the treatment I received, it's very likely that I would have ended up in a wheelchair many, many years ago, because I can't imagine being able to walk for very long if I only walked on my toes. So it's just, and no telling, what hip issues I would have had, because the reason I had the hip surgery was because my hips weren't in the socket like they should be.
And you said going to the hospitals was just like family. Even back in that time, your parents weren't allowed to be there.
Exactly. And I mean, I look forward to going for clinic visits, and even though hospital stays were longer, there was a lot of activities to keep us busy. We had school, they had games and crafts, and on the weekends there was a Red Cross volunteer who would show movies. And they had a lot of activity to keep us busy.
Cool.
And then of course there were, races around in wheelchairs around the nurses' station, that kind of thing too.
Yeah. Do you have anything you'd like to say to people about your experience?
Sure. I just can't imagine what my life would be like if it had not been for the care I received at the St. Louis Shriners Hospital. It's just hard to fathom how life would have turned out without that treatment.
Well, I can tell you on behalf of the 1,500 nobles of Kora Temple and their ladies, we are overwhelmed at having you here for the dedication of our statue, which is long overdue for our beautiful building. And like I say, we just can't thank you enough for coming.
It's my pleasure to be here with you for this special occasion.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.